Hello, and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Garalith is saying hello as well. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and today we're back in Henneth Annûn. On the previous episode we came in here, we met some of the rangers, we talked with them, and we also learned the story about Frodo, Faramir, and Sam. It was quite a long one, so I didn't have much time to tell you my thoughts on it at the end of last episode, but long story short, I think it was great. And now that we learned that, we are ready to continue our quests with the rangers. Our enemies have come closer to Henneth Annûn each day, and unless we act to keep them from it, we shall be discovered before long. There are many ways for our foes to approach Henneth Annûn, but thankfully very few through which they could enter. I would have you scout the far reaches of Ithilien surrounding Henneth Annûn for any sign of our foes. Their whereabouts in Ithilien are mostly known to us, but they move deeper into the woods with each passing hour, and we cannot chance them drawing too close, especially after Roderick's encounter with that troll. With our other refugees fallen, any task that draws us into Ithilien risks leading our foes back to the refuge. Go swiftly and take care that you are not followed. I shall await a report upon your return. So what troll, Roderick? Can you tell me about that one? There is a matter which has left a few of us uneasy, my friend. Upon our return, a great troll was wandering near the eastern entrance to Henneth Annûn, in sunlight, no less. We struck at it from the shadows, but it fled before we could deal a killing blow. We do not know if it learned of the refuge entrance or was passing by chance, but we cannot afford to be exposed to the enemy. To that end, I have devised a plan to protect us if another troll draws too near. There are toads within Ithilien that produce a curious slime. It is not a threat to the lives to man or beast, but it produces a strange sensation and floods one vision with illusory forms. With such a slime on our arrowheads, we shall have little to fear from even the largest of the enemy's forces. While they are being deceived by their own eyes, they will be easier to track and slay before they can return to their masters. Seek these toads and carefully harvest their slime in these phials. Once you have filled them, return to me and I shall instruct you further. Could you aid me with something, Beriathan? In the haste of our return, my brethren and I have forgotten to set traps around Henneth Annûn. These traps provide us an easy source of meat from the nearby beasts, and also keep wandering foes from straying too near to the refuge. I know it might seem a simple task, but if the war continues as it does, we shall have needs of more meat and materials. The falls protect the western border of Henneth Annûn, so it is best to lay the traps to the south and east. I await your return. Sure. So it seems we finally have everything we needed from the rangers in here. That was a lot of things. I truly didn't expect to spend so much time in Henneth Annûn during our first visit. But there we go, we are ready now to continue. Yeah, even the waterfall sounds too loud at a distance. Yeah, I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna filter the sounds of the waterfall or not. I don't know. Still thinking on it. But now that we are friends with the rangers of Ithilien, that means it's gonna be great because we can get a master in after Battle of Gilead, master in Henneth Annûn, and for the time being, that's it. So let us grab these new masters and add them to our quick slots. Osgiliath and Henneth Annûn. Great. Here we have the stable master.
Sometimes indeed.
Now, the epic is supposed to trigger some point. Don't remember too well how, but since we need to come back to this place many times over, well, I think we should be okay. So God, there are so many things to do. Let me check because I'm not even sure anymore. Defeated toads. Well, defeats of Cormallen, that's gonna be later. Traps around Henneth Annûn. Lokhu-achi. King's Foil. Patrol Henneth Annûn. I think we can remove these herbalists quests. And no. This one, no. This one. These are all the quests that are near this place so that we can start doing them all. Yeah? That's it? Okay. Taking a little bit longer to answer there. But okay. The roadway south of Henneth Annûn is clear of foes. Nice to know. Now, we need to find a way down to the western side. And, well, we'll be looking for it. Not sure how to get there because it's a very big drop. But other than that, we'll still have a couple things left to do around here. Ideal trap location. Oh, there's another one. You? Ideal trap location? Okay. Oh. Conspicuous shrubbery. What is that about? A ranger stumbles out of the bush. Or not again. I'm sorry, I keep bothering you. Nice hiding spot. Sorry, once again. Was not my intention to do that. Really sorry. Oh, come on. Jeez. Been a long time. Another trap location. Oh, there's a reflecting pool. What are we supposed to do with the epic? We'll need to take care of that at some point too. I just don't remember how to trigger the epic. Or this one. I don't know. Do you need just to ride or walk through a certain location? God. What's going on with you today? Oh, here we have some more trap locations. These are the last two, really. Okay. We can remove this one then. And that means we can get the epic back The tracker, oh my god. Yeah, thank you. The epic, yeah, you gotta approach from the south to trigger that one. Here we'll find the toads for the slime. For God's sake. On top of that, we need to use the friggin' corpses. Ah. I don't think these guys will drop it. Attack, please. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, come on, do it. This is borderline unplayable at this point. Ah, there we go. That's the slime. That's the freaking effect. Pick it up. Oh no. Huh. That's a troll. I think this is related to one of those herbalist quests, but from what I remember, you do need to complete some quest lines in North Ithilien before you can unlock those quests. So that's why we cannot do that yet. Oh my god. God, die! Die, all of you! You mean I need a valid target, for God's sake? Oh, come on. I don't get it. I mean, even fighting something as ridiculous as this toad is going to be tedious, so I would only expect if we try to fight a bigger enemy, we're gonna have a hard time doing that. Oh, come on. Was not worth it. Yeah, let us try and see if we can find another toad. Yeah, problem is, since you gotta use the... Oh, for God's sake. No! Oh, this is the worst I have seen this game in a long time. Well, we had left the luck behind us with Minas Tirith. Jesus. God, it's driving me crazy, and we still need to defeat 2 more of these toads. And we're taking quite a beating. God, this gotta be most immersion breaking I've seen in a long time. Should I relog? Please die. Thank God. We can remove this too. Ah. There was another area to patrol here to the north. This looks really nice. Of course, last time I wasn't here, the graphical quality was not that high so that I could appreciate that spot. I think it looks great. The enemy's forces may have recently passed through this location, but none remain. That's a relief. And hopefully we will be able to avoid some of these toads. Please. Hopefully. We will not be lagging anymore, God. Yep. Still having issues here. Even just looting things. You realize you're being watched moments before a ranger emerges from hiding.
If you are a scout for King Elisar's host, you have my welcome.
It is my dearest hope that he intends to make such a racket as his army moves through Ithilien, for there are no foes that could fail to notice his progress either.
The ways of secrecy are ending, it seems.
The ways of secrecy are ending, it seems. King Elisar marches to Mordor in a great procession, and with the sounding of trumpets, and so too must the Rangers of Ithilien give up some of their secrets. Still, those ways do not go easily. From Henneth Annûn we have here many a foe, passing like shadows through the window of the sunset and back again under cover of darkness. As you are a friend to the king and to Gondor, I say that you may see what you will of our secret retreat. Find the descending tunnel, the main cavern, and the lookout point. But I warn you, do not set foot into the forbidden pool. That is an insult to us, and we have never allowed it unpunished. Yeah, I'm not a fool. I'm not gonna do that. I know better than trying to step into the forbidden pool. So yeah, you don't have to worry about me in that regard. Now we gotta find a way down. Although at this point and with all this lag, I'm just willing to jump through the hill and be done with it. Mordor Searcher, what do we have here? Okay, this is a daily, we already got it, but I figure, well, we can do that one again. Basically, we can do that daily as many times as we want. Oh, for God's sake. Seriously, where do we need to go to find a way down here? I don't want to keep jumping through these loops because that means coming up, there's gotta be... It's gotta be worse. Oh, move it! Yeah, you're supposed to be dead already. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna relog and see if that helps a little, so I'll be back with you in just a moment. Alright, we're finally back. I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to relog. I even had to restart, so it seems there was some sort of issue with the connection between the server and my own network. I don't know. Because everything seems to be working much more better now. Look. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's how this is supposed to work. Yeah, I have no idea what happened here. But luckily now... Hopefully this will be it for us so that we can finish everything that we have currently undergoing today. We have some King's Foil in here. And this is the area in which you can also find Lokhu-achi. So let us see if we have any luck with him. Because I'm not sure where we need to go exactly to be able to advance that quest. And I don't see any King's Foil around either. Yeah, he's supposed to be here somewhere. Ah, there we go. There we have Lokhu-achi. You have found Lokhu-achi, but keep your distance. Yeah, I'll make sure I do that, but take a look. You don't want to miss him. Crack marrow root on a stone north to Lokhu-achi. Which one exactly? This is a place? Supposedly. Moses Stone. Okay, here we go. The ground shakes suddenly as Lokhu-achi approaches. Keep moving. Okay, further north it is. Or do we need to go? He doesn't appear physically. What a shame. Oh, take a look. Here we also have Jarl Gurthilm. But why is he not wearing anything? Or is this for a different type of quest? I'm not sure. Can be. It seems they met some Easterlings. And there is a Bariac dead here. Where's the Master Stone? Ah, here. The ground shakes as Lokhu-achi follows in the distance. Now we need to go to the west. Into the fields of Cormalin, it seems. Yeah, I think the stress should fall on the O, from what I remember, on the appendices. But if that's the case, that would mean I've been pronouncing this name wrong my whole life. Well, I truly don't know what would be better at this point. Ah, northwest. I just read west. My mistake. My bad. You have arrived at the field, but the Variacs are nowhere to be found. Yeah, I know they are not here. I already met them somewhere else. It's done, okay. Ah, you are not bothering me today. The ground shakes as Lokhu-achi follows in the distance. Further north? How much further north do I need to go? Northwest. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm still reading this wrong. God. Okay. Here we go. Gotta be somewhere around here. Massive stone. Okay. The ground shakes as Lokhu-achi follows in the distance. Okay, towards the Nindal. And this also seems to be like the perfect spot for another treasure cache. I think there is one around here. We can maybe take a look. Lokhu-achi approaches calmly and sniffs curiously at the marrow root you bear. You should offer the remaining marrow root to Lokhu-achi and coax him towards the Nindal. Yeah, I know I'm too far to Lokhu-achi. Do you mind? I'm trying to get a picture of this creature. Yeah, I know I should offer the remaining marrow to him. You hungry? Okay, don't worry. As you approach Lokhu-achi, he makes no attempt to attack or flee. In fact, the beast seems docile and perhaps a bit hungry. Lokhu-achi's trunk meanders about you, searching curiously for the marrow root you bear. You offer what little remains of the marrow root you gather to Lokhu-achi, and as he chews it, he shakes his head about in an almost playful gesture. You point towards the marshlands to the northwest, and Lokhu-achi seems to understand your command. Lokhu-achi gently brushes you with his trunk, nearly knocking you off your feet, and then begins to wander into the shallows of the marsh. Who's a good boy? Lokhu-achi wanders into the Nimdal, frolicking in the shallows of the marshland as he departs. Yeah, Godspeed. Be safe. What an impressive creature that is. And much like Sam, I'm glad he's okay. They are, of course, trained for war, but that's not something that they actively look for, so they deserve to be taken out of the war. So I hope you find better fortunes on the Nindal. As for us, Kingsfoil, Orcs, and the Jarl near the fields of Cormalin. Yeah, we already found them. Oh. Yeah, truly, please, leave me alone. So, it seems we need to come through that slope. Just getting some memories of my times here in Ithilien. And the dailies that you got in the fields of Cormalin. Been a while. And I cannot tell you how many times did I do those quests. Enough times for me to remember them even after, what, 4 years? Stop hiding. Show yourself. Okay, so a broken bridge. Jarl was somewhere around here. Oh, not again. Or somewhere around here. Door of it. Yeah. You discovered Jarl Gurthilm and his company amidst a field of slain Khundolar. I had already done so. It would have been great if the quest had advanced. If you could advance the quest either by going to the fields or by finding them out in the open, that would be great. Jarl Gurthilm and his company look visibly shaken as you approach, though they have tried not to appear so. This was no chance encounter. I do not blame you for failing to keep these men from my company, for they were searching for us, and us alone. You shall have your reward yet, but I must alter our arrangement in light of these events. Do not fear any treachery on my part, Beriathan, for your reward does not lie in question. In fact, it can only grow greater. We have been betrayed, Beriathan. We were paid half our share to travel to the fields of Gondor, and now the Khundolar have sent assassins to slay us before we could return home. Only the lord that bought our blades could have arranged such an ambush, and his name is Zarhal Kôz. He is a coward among Easterlings, but his wealth grants him all the power he desires. He offered us the remainder of our share upon our return, but it is clear that he didn't intend for us to survive long enough to demand the rest of our gold. My men will hold this position, but we have need of our scout, and after all, you are still in our service. Search the surrounding lands for signs of the Khundolar or their assassins. Then we shall see about taking our gold back, and then taking quite a bit more. And then, Warden, you shall have a reward fitting of a king. Alright, we already know one of these guys is located to the north. So we can just take a look at it. This barrack lies slain, and a blade of Easterling may protrude from his chest. Yeah, once again, we already knew all that. Could have saved that from us. I mean, we could have saved some time. Had the quest advanced for us. But at a better time. Okay, mold dough. Whether by beast or man, this dough has been viciously mauled. Ah, king's foil. It seems. Let us see if we can find any more king's foil on this side of the river, so that we can hopefully complete this one too. Some more king's foil. This is great. Orc corpse. Oh, there was something else to look in here? Ah, this is for the patrolling. Arrows of ranger make protrude from the flesh of this fallen orc. And there is even more king's foil in here. Oh, we have reached the forbidden pool. We cannot enter the forbidden pool. But there is one last thing that we need to scout in here. Yeah. Only the calls of nearby birds break the silence at the forbidden pool. And I'm not gonna be foolish enough to try and enter the waters in here. That cannot end well. There is one last thing that we can scout. Ah, it's actually to the north. Let us ride then. Oh, there is another orc in here for our daily. Let us do it. Down he goes. There is another one. Can't see anything in all this vegetation, but there we go. And here is yet another one. The lowlands to the west of Henneth Annûn are still, but your foes have passed through recently. Who do we have here? Ithilien? Have you seen the cats of the Khundolar lurking nearby, Beriathan? They are terrible beasts, bred only to maim and kill the enemies of their masters. When those enemies are absent or hidden away like my brethren, the battle cats stay their hunger on any creature they can find. The lands of Ithilien are wild, yes, and beasts know the many ways through the shadows of these woods. But the battle cats are trained to outpace and outsmart them. I have even heard tell they have the strength to slay the bears of Ithilien. I would ask that you defeat them before they can cause great harm to the order of beasts in Ithilien. Worse yet, their keen noses might lead them to our refuge. You will find them to the north, but be wary, my friend. In the wakes of the great battle, the healers of Gondor and Rohan alike are strained and their stores will soon run low if we do not help replenish them. Gondor has long been a source of various remedies and tinctures, and nearly all of them through the use of the flowers and herbs that grow in Ithilien. This task has not often fallen to rangers in recent years, but the need is great now and we must all do our part to ease the ills of the wounded. Among the most common of Ithilien's herbs and flowers are oxlip, horsetail and vetchling. Each can be ground into a beneficial extract that can then be combined into powerful medicines by skilled healers. Search nearby for the luscious of these plants and bring them to me. Once you have gathered them, return to me and we can speak on how to harvest their extracts. Do you have a moment, Beirathan? Since I have asked you to harvest the flowers and herbs of Ithilien, I must also task you with planting new seeds. It may seem a foolish errand with the enemy's forces looming so near to us, but if we are to fight for a bright future in Gondor, we will have need of Ithilien's bounty. To the west lies the field of Cormallen, a verdant field wreathed by some of the Ithilien's most striking trees and flowers. Seeds of many kinds can be found amongst the grass, especially those of oxlip, horsetail and betchling. The seeds should be very easy to find. Oxlip seeds resemble those of a maple tree, betchling seeds appear nearly identical to chestnuts, and horsetail seeds are indistinguishable from acorns. Gather many of them and then plant as many as you are able in the lowlands surrounding the field of Cormallen. Once you have done this, return to me. As the battle on the Pelennor ended, many of the enemy's forces broke their ranks and fled back across the Anduin. Among those, we sighted at least 4 trolls fleeing into Ithilien. I fear that they might still live within these lands, for trolls are a troublesome foe for my brethren. They are not as easily felt and can often flee before one of our arrows lands a killing blow. However, these trolls did not possess the hardier stock of the Lokhu-achi, and they would be vulnerable to the rising sun. Search the lands nearby for the 4 trolls, and when you are satisfied that they no longer pose a threat, return to me. We did find some of the, well, one of those trolls when we were fighting the toads to the east, but we still gotta find some of those other trolls, and we also need to go back to the one we already found to advance this quest anyway. Let us see how much else we can do in here. Okay. Where else do we need to keep looking? God, there are so many things to do. Okay, where else? Where else? Search trolls. Okay, there is supposed to be a troll in here. Ah, yeah. Yeah, here's one of them. The troll was caught in the sunlight as the dawnless day faded. What a hideous thing. Just one more of these lashes. One more of oxlip. 2 more cats. Okay, here we have one. Here we have another one. For the time being, I think we can go with that. Talk to Evelyn and turn at least some of these quests.
Let us hope you bring glad tidings, friend.
Excellent work, my friend. You have gathered them just as swiftly as I'd hoped. With a careful hand, you can grind these flowers into useful extracts. Here. Evelyn takes the bundles from you and begins to grind them in a small mortar. There are many plants in the gardens of Ithilien, and some are much rarer than the rest. However, all of them are of great worth to the healers of Gondor, so look closely and harvest as many as you can as you explore these lands. Now then, there are a few among our number that have been tasked to make swift trips to the White City. If you give them the files you have collected, they may be able to offer you something of use in return. Our swift riders can be found at the crossroads to the south, in Henneth Annûn, and far to the north among our camps on the border of Dagorlad. Your aid could make a tremendous difference in the aftermath of the great battle, so I would urge you to bring those files to them as soon as you are able. Yeah, it seems this was kind of a tutorial for the flower picking in Ithilien.
Claim the deeds of men and orc, fair or foul.
The Dark Lord may not care for the health of these lands, but Ithilien must remain verdant and wild. Having such a predator lurking in our wilds would not bode well for any of us. It is unfortunate that the Khundolar have raised their cats in such a way, but it cannot be helped now, and too much is at stake. You have my thanks. Very welcome. What else we can do in here? This one for the Jarl. The Oxley, the seeds in the field of Cormalin. Well, that one it seems. So, first of all, God, I'm really lost with all there is to do in here. Rustling bush. Okay. A pair of Khundolar rush forth from the bush. Back to the Jarl it is. Oh, the fool he is. I will not suffer such an insult to my people and my skill. You sent a pitiful band of assassins to slay warriors of Kant? Ha! You have sent flies to destroy a foundation of steel. This is no longer about returning home. I shall not rest until Zarhal Kôz lies dead at my feet, and his riches are in my keeping. We have no time to waste, Beriathan. Every moment we delay allows Zarhal Kôz a chance to bolster his defenses or flee. Yet he is fool enough to have camped within these very lands. He dwells in a camp called Lokhu-achi, and its defenses are built into the slopes of the Mountains of Shadow. There are two ways by which we can approach Lokhu-achi. The first is through the pass of Cirith Ungol. Zarhal Kôz may be a fool, but none would underestimate its value as an ideal spot for an ambush. We cannot go by that way, Warden. The second way is along the western road, which snakes northward towards Dagorlad and then forks to the east, to the base of his encampment beyond the pass of Cirith Ungol. This is the path we must take, and we must move now. If you wish to follow us, you need not fear the Khundolar as you travel. My men and I shall make sure Zarhal Kôz knows we are coming, and that his warriors cannot stop us. Okay. I think at some point we will take this path again to advance through the landscape quests and through the epics, so I think we can pause this quest line with the Jarl for the time being and focus on other things. Yeah, there are so many things to do. I feel I'm kind of overwhelmed, as you can see. Yep, this is the one. The one seed quest I do remember doing a lot. Because after you complete this, it will become a herbalist quest in Henneth Annûn. Let's see how fast we can go at this. I'm always curious to see which one of these seats will be the last I pick, because they are usually evenly spread across this area, but sometimes some of those seats are really hard to find for whatever reason, and it's not always the same one, so it's almost like a game of chance in a way. Like, what seats will you find and which ones will be the hard ones this round? Doesn't make that much of a difference because you would still get them all, but... Oh, we have a new deed. Easterling Slayer in North Ithilien. Great. And it seems we're gonna be done first with the Oxlip seats. I used to know the location for all the seats back in the day. So if I was missing a seat in particular, I knew where to go to get what I needed. Okay, here we have some more seats. And truly, the delete key is your best friend in here. They are so hard to see. Delete key and floating names. Otherwise, I don't know how you could do this. So here we go with the horse sale seats. I was right, it seems. The last set of seats we would complete today was the Fetchling. Maybe we can avoid some of these enemies around here. Okay, there we go. Plant the seeds now in Fertile Soil? Oh, come on. Alright, we'll be going. It's on our way to Isle in Varen in any case, and we need to go back there and to tell Thai chat about the Mûmak. God, I'm so bad at those names, at the Anadrim names. Please tell me I'm also getting plenty of task items. That would be really nice. Okay, there is another orc in here. Cool. Fertile soil, where is it? I don't see it. Where are we supposed to plant the seeds again? I mean, this seems to be the place. Peace. Come on. Fertile soil. Oh, I saw one. Ah. Finally. There should be more fertile soil somewhere around here. We're here at the doorstep of Caer Andros too. But there's still not time for us to go there. But we will be coming at some point. Do we find Tolkien again? I don't remember. It would be really nice if we did. But it seems Beriathan was destroyed during the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. I don't know if Tolkien survived. I hope he did. And his mother too. Let's try and find the last spots for the fertile soil. We'll make our way to the south, find one of the trolls, and then go to Isle in Varen, turn in the quest. We really need to start checking off some of these things off the list. There are so many things to do. Fertile soil? Where? Ah, okay. There we go. One more spot. Okay. There we go. Perfect. So, hopefully there will be plenty of orcs or Easterlings along the way too when we go to Isle in Varen. It's just a handful of them. Okay, here we have the second troll. But in the sunlight as the dawnless day faded. Yeah, he doesn't look as bad as the other one. But still, he's a troll. What did you expect? He's gonna look awful. One way or another. I think we can remove Ithilien's quest line. We'll be going back to him when we have the other trolls, I presume. Okay, there is an orc. Fire starter. I do remember these guys a little. They were very difficult back in the day. Not so much anymore, it seems. Which is nice. Give me 2 more orcs, please. Just 2 of them. Oh, another fire starter here. And another one here. That's gonna be great. There we go. We got this daily once again. Nice to have. On our way back to Ithilien now. Because yeah, we've also taken a lot of time today, but on one hand you saw how many quests we kept getting, and I'm trying to find an easy place to finish today's episode, a safe spot. On the other hand, with a lag, I don't know, or the issues we had at the start of the episode, it was also really tricky. I mean, we of course took longer than we should have if we hadn't had any issues. At least a couple minutes. Really weird. It's the first time something like this happens to me. That everything is clunky and slow, and only restarting the PC would fix it. I don't know what happened there. But here we are at long last. So let us let him know about his friend. And with this we should be also ending this quest line. Well, I am saddened that I may not see my dear companion again. I am glad that he has left behind the lands of those who would do him harm. Lokhu-achi is a resilient Mûmak, and I am certain he shall find his way to Harat or Dagorlight in time, whenever he should choose to return from his journey. You have done me a great honor, man.
Faith alone will not stop the enemy.
Through your efforts, we have learned of the Southron's purpose in their surrender. It was a wise decision regardless of our past encounters with their people, and I am glad their War Master came to such a conclusion without further bloodshed. I am not certain we could have resolved this peacefully without your aid. Now we have upheld our half of the bargain, and I would expect them to do the same. Alright, this questline continues. Yeah, it seems they are now gonna reveal the location of one of their camps. But that'll have to wait for the next one, and as I'm not sure we have enough time for that today. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures once again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.